You need to change these PS5 settings as soon as you can. All of these settings are different to the ones in my previous settings video, so make sure to watch that one straight after this too. Settings 1 and 2 are great free ways to save storage space, so there's no reason not to change them. Go to your console settings, then all the way down to captures and broadcasts, then down to auto captures. First off, go to the trophies section. Here you can find a rarity of trophies that video clips and screenshots are saved for, which is actually a feature I suggested Sony add in my last video. I personally like to keep screenshots on for all trophies, but I do change trophy videos down to just platinum and gold, as videos do take up significantly more storage space. Going back to the previous menu, choose challenges, where you can then decide whether or not to save clips when you achieve personal bests in games. This is very much a case of personal preference, but if looking back on these moments isn't important to you, toggle this off. Setting 3 is also in captures and broadcasts and is now found under captures, then shortcuts for create button. You'll want to disable the option to display save confirmations for screenshots. Whilst this is turned on, a notification appears on the right hand side of the screen every single time you take a screenshot, which can be frustrating as you might accidentally capture that within the image. With this turned off, however, that notification doesn't appear, but you still hear the screenshot taken noise, which is a nice, awesome confirmation that it has successfully been captured. Setting 4 is found in sound, then audio output, and will significantly improve the audio quality of your TV speakers. You'll want to enable 3D audio for TV speakers and then measure the room acoustics. You do this using your DualSense controller, and the console walks you through the entire process. Make sure to follow the instructions on screen closely. Once done, ensure that applying measurement results to 3D audio results is also enabled. If you're a headphone user, however, then setting 5 will be great for you. Go down and enable 3D audio for headphones, then adjust audio profile. This used to have just one soundtrack, but now you press triangle to switch between different samples, and you can also use a D-pad to help determine which profile sounds best to you. Have a proper play around with this, as having a personalized audio profile will greatly improve your experience, as well as help you determine where exact noises are coming from in games. Speaking of audio, what audio device do you use when you're playing games? Let me know in the comments, I really want to know. Next up is setting number 6, which can be found by hitting the PS button to bring up the control center, then go to sound, then EQ presets. Here you will be able to manually optimize audio or choose some default properties so that you can tailor the PlayStation 5's audio experience to perfectly suit your tastes. However, I should mention you need Sony's Pulse 3D headset to be able to use this option, and I will have links to this headset in the description. I personally own it and find it amazing. Whilst you are on the control center, setting number 7 to change is the order of the control panel to better suit how you use it. With the control panel opened, press options, and then you can reorder the control center icons to your exact liking. Let us all know in the comments your order of icons so we can try out everyone's different setups. Seeing as you're down there now anyway, please also leave a like if you're enjoying this video, as well as consider subscribing to see even more essential PS5 tips and tricks. The 8th setting is in screen and video, then go down to HDR. Here you want to make sure HDR is set to on when supported, assuming your display does support it. Just make sure it is not set to always on, as that would cause certain games and menus to look awful, completely washing them out. Setting number 9 is to enable a feature that is by default turned off. Go to accessibility settings, then under the display section, you'll see zoom. Click into this and enable the feature. This now lets you zoom into the screen several times and navigate around it, which is especially useful in battle royale games where the map is large, as you can now use this to determine if that tiny speck in the distance is actually an enemy player or not. It's sort of cheating. Setting number 10 is in system, then HDMI, and is the one touch play option. By default, HDMI device link and power off link are enabled, but one touch play is not. With this setting on though, when you turn on your PS5, the TV turns on with it, which is really useful. Whilst you are here, if you don't want your PS5 going into rest mode when you turn your display off, then disable the power off link setting, but that is just personal preference. Setting 11 can be found under Save Data in Game App Settings, then under Followed Games. Click into Manage Followed Games and unfollow all the games you don't care about to stop receiving updates on them in the control center. Every game you buy or download will be auto-followed, so try to keep this list just to the games you are still interested in. Otherwise, these news feeds will just become useless clutter. Then again, I guess that's what all social media feeds even are these days. Next up is setting 12, which is to mute notifications from messaging groups you want to remain in, but feel you get too many notifications for. Go to Gamebase, click on the party you want to mute, then hit the three dots and turn off notifications. This is especially useful if you are part of a larger group. Setting 13 is found in System, then System Software and is under Console Information. I recommend you change your name of your console so you can recognize it when using a PS app or PS Remote Play app. If you are signed in on more than one console, this is definitely something you'll want to do. Setting number 14 is in Storage, then Installation Location, and I recommend you change your default installation location to wherever you have the most storage space left available. I like to have mine installed to my M2 SSD internal expansion. Speaking of which, if you want to expand your PS5 storage, I recommend choosing one of the SSDs in my video listing the best SSDs for PS5. Next up is setting 15, which is to enable... Whoa, hang on a second. If you want to see the next 20 settings, then click the video on screen now. Most of the ones in that video are even more useful and essential than the ones in this video, so you should really watch it as soon as you can. Anyway, that's all for me in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.